Cultural diversity, Workforce 2000, changing demographics. Recently, there has been a great deal of discussion and debate about how increased diversity is changing the face of the American workforce.
Diversity is a complex issue, and it's only natural that many people have questions. What is workforce diversity? How is the workforce changing? And how will these changes affect me? Hello, I'm Will Ternoir.
And I'm Linda C. For the next few minutes, we're going to explore the issue of workforce diversity, and we hope to answer many of your questions about changes in the workforce and what is expected of you regarding your behavior and your interactions in the workplace.
America has always had a diverse workforce. This nation was built by peoples from many different cultural, ethnic, and religious origins. People who, regardless of their differences, help to define and to defend the basic principles which make the United States of America a great nation.
Unfortunately, our history of diversity also has a dark side. Many Americans have experienced prejudice and discrimination in society and in the workplace. Thankfully, we now have laws that are designed to promote equal opportunity and to eliminate employment discrimination based on differences.
Webster's Collegiate Dictionary defines diversity as the condition of being different, variety. Simply put, diversity is a concept which includes everyone, because every worker is different.
Diversity encompasses obvious differences, such as a person's race, color, religion, ethnic origin, or gender. Diversity also includes age differences, disabilities, and sexual orientations.
However, there are other differences which people bring with them into the workplace. Differences in their education, occupation, marital status, economic status, and life experiences, different geographic identities, political affiliation, family status, and parental influences.
Clearly, even though people are different, they also have much in common, and every American will be affected by the reality of a more diverse population. During the 1990s, the American workforce will undergo a number of significant changes.
More persons from diverse racial and ethnic groups will join the workforce. The American workforce has always been a unique mosaic made up of European, African, Asian, and Native peoples. And each year, thousands of new immigrants from many different cultures come to America and add to the racial and ethnic diversity of our workforce.
Other changes will occur because almost half of the new workers who join the workforce during the 1990s will be women, and many of these women will make non-traditional career choices. More women will become attorneys, engineers, accountants, and politicians. More women will be firefighters or work in construction jobs as employment barriers based on gender continue to fall.
Millions of persons with disabilities will join the workforce during the 1990s, in part because of new laws such as the Americans with Disabilities Act. In addition, new technologies and increased awareness will create thousands of new employment opportunities for persons with disabilities.
You might ask what these changes mean to you. There are no easy answers, but every employee, not just management, is responsible for helping to create and maintain a positive working environment. However, it is also true that workforce diversity does create certain distinctive challenges for employers and for employees.
Diversity has always been one of America's most valuable resources, but it's also true that these differences can cause conflict and sometimes even misunderstandings, primarily because employees enter the workplace without having an opportunity to work with, communicate with, or interact with people who are different than themselves. As a result, people often rely on stereotypes and assumptions which are the result of ignorance and a lack of understanding about cultural differences.
What are stereotypes? Stereotypes are preconceptions or assumptions, sometimes very rigid assumptions, that are directed at all persons belonging to a particular group. Anyone can be a victim of stereotyping, including you. Here are some examples of negative group stereotypes. Women are too emotional.
African American men are violent.
White people are racist.
Males are sexist.
Asians are submissive.
Latinos are people that are hot-blooded.
Those people are...
Everyone uses stereotypes to some extent. For example, we stereotype by occupation. Lawyers, politicians, and police officers come to mind. The most offensive stereotypes are usually negative assumptions, but positive stereotypes also exist. People are more inclined to apply stereotypes to persons or groups who are different. Unfortunately, when a negative stereotype is applied to an entire group, there will always be group members who exhibit stereotypical characteristics.
To communicate effectively in a more diverse workforce, employees should be aware that group stereotypes do not apply to individuals. The key is to always treat others with respect and consideration, because stereotyping can easily lead to misunderstandings or bad feelings.
Hey!
Hey, Rosa.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome back. How was the honeymoon?
Oh, it was wonderful. I've always wanted to see Hawaii, and it was more beautiful than I imagined.
I suppose you'll be wanting more time off soon?
What do you mean?
Just got married, romantic honeymoon. Can maternity leave be far behind?
Comments about an individual's personal life can be particularly embarrassing or offensive, especially when the remarks include assumptions that are based on a group stereotype.
People can also have very different views about what is funny, especially with regard to racial or ethnic jokes and humor.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hi.
Hey McGee, you got that marketing report ready yet?
Yeah, got it right here.
Good. I'm meeting with Bill Larson in about 2 minutes, and you know how he is about getting these things on time.
Tell me about it. Well, good luck.
Say, I got a good one for you. Have you heard the one about the Swede and the Pollock panning for gold in Alaska?
Oh.
Yeah, they went up there and then...
Ethnic humor often perpetuates negative group stereotypes and can offend or anger others. For this reason, ethnic and racial jokes do not belong in the workplace, and employees should be aware that not everyone will think such jokes are harmless or funny.
There are also times when cultural misunderstandings can occur, even though there was no intent to offend.
Hey, McQuell.
Hey, hi, Paul.
Just that person I wanted to see. We're having a retirement party for Tom Baker this Friday, and I'm responsible for getting the food.
Great.
So I thought maybe you could have the little woman cook up some tacos or enchiladas. You know, add a cultural touch.
Tacos, enchiladas. I've been working with this man for 2 years. How many times do I have to tell him I'm from Chile, not Mexico?
People often make assumptions about others that are based on stereotypes. When unintentional misunderstandings occur, another important dynamic comes into play: honest communication. Employees should not be afraid to inform coworkers when certain behaviors or communications are incorrect or offensive. However, if you decide to talk to a coworker about a problem, here are a few rules you can follow. Talk about the problem as soon as possible, but don't overreact.
Don't be accusatory or use labels such as bigot, racist, or sexist.
Speak to the coworker in an appropriate and private setting.
Be respectful, but communicate clearly how you wish to be treated.
Paul, I will be happy to help you, but I don't know anything about Mexican food. Remember, I'm from Chile. But it's okay, it's okay. I make a great pot of spaghetti, though.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. I guess I just assumed that because you speak Spanish, tacos, enchiladas. You know, come to think of it, it does sound kind of dumb. Tell me something. What do you eat in your native country?
Do you have half hour? I'll tell you all about it. We have this...
Communicating honestly and respectfully is one way that individuals can resolve cultural misunderstandings. At the same time, you can learn and become more aware of cultural differences.
Unfortunately, there are times when direct communication is not comfortable or is not effective.
Excuse me. Excuse me. I need to pick up a package for Mr. Till.
Say what?
Mr. Till. A package.
You mean Bill Terrell?
Yeah, Bill Terrell. Terrell.
Yeah, he's right around the corner. And while you're at it, why don't you learn some English?
Don't speak to me like that. I'm an American citizen just like you.
I can talk to you any way I want. Ever heard of freedom of speech?
When direct communication is uncomfortable or fails, employees should be aware that other options are available. If you are experiencing a problem that is affecting your work environment, you should ask for help. Don't be afraid to use the internal resources that are available to assist you. Ultimately, every employee must assume some responsibility for their work environment.
Andy, I wanted to meet with you because I just had a very disturbing conversation with Tony.
I bet that was an adventure. You know, I can't understand a word that guy says.
Actually, that attitude is just what I wanted to talk to you about. Andy, I can't tell you what to think, but while you're on the job, you're expected to treat every employee with respect.
Look, it's not my fault the guy can't speak English.
I know Tony can be difficult to understand. He has an accent, but he's a good worker. And I found it really just takes a little more patience to understand him.
I guess I am a little impatient. I mean, especially when it's busy, but I'm that way with everybody.
Yes, but Tony is new to this country. Hey, he's very proud to be an American citizen. And he's working hard to improve his English. Have you ever thought about how your attitude makes him feel?
I guess I really haven't. I mean, he is an okay guy. Do you think I should apologize?
I think that'd be a good start.
Every employee plays an important role in creating and maintaining a positive, healthy workplace environment. What are your individual responsibilities? You should be aware of any personal attitudes or behaviors which might affect your interactions with coworkers. Treat others as individuals and be respectful of cultural differences. When differences cause problems, use honest, respectful communication to find a resolution. If direct communication does not work, use available internal resources to help resolve misunderstandings or conflict.
In order to compete effectively in a rapidly changing world economy, we must find new ways to utilize the positive benefits of our diverse society and to meet the challenges of tomorrow. Diversity is our shared destiny, and the workplace is more productive and more efficient when everyone pulls together to create a working environment where every person has an opportunity to reach their fullest potential.
We're here today with Commissioner Den to find out his views on workforce diversity. Commissioner, why is diversity a good thing for MnDOT?
Well, Linda, there's two reasons as I see it. One, it's the right thing to do. Secondly, it's the intelligent thing to do. We have many people in Minnesota who have just untold resources of talent and ability that we at MnDOT can use. If we don't tap that resource, we're shorting ourselves. And the way to do that is reach out, open our doors to those people of different cultures, different backgrounds, different color. Make sure that they know there's a place for them at MnDOT to help us achieve our goals and objectives.
What are your expectations of employees in order to create a truly diverse workforce?
Well, I think it's the responsibility of myself and every other employee at MnDOT to welcome people. If they talk a little different, look a little different, if it's a male setting and a woman is added to the work team, it's important that we accept the responsibility to make sure that they know we consider them valuable, a team member, and important to our overall goals.
Commissioner, if people do have an issue or a problem or a concern, what are their options to deal with that situation?
Well, whether it has to do with a feeling of being unwelcome or bad jokes, or they're being harassed or in any way discriminated against, it's important, if they feel comfortable, to talk to that person that they think is the source of this. If they don't feel comfortable, they have their supervisor to turn to. And if the supervisor isn't available, or if they don't feel comfortable doing that, then there is our affirmative action officer. And those are their three basic options. And if that doesn't work, then they need to let me know, and we'll figure it out together.